Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 8, Episode 13, Prisons, Proposals, and Parties. Okay, there is no proposal in this episode. There is a prison portion, there is a party portion, there is no proposal portion. And I went back and checked 2-3 times when I do my editing and when I'm pulling pictures. I was going through it again. Did I miss something? Maybe when I was fast forwarding through a commercial, I skipped a whole scene of a proposal? No. I even went on social media into some of the Housewives groups and asked people if they saw a proposal. No. I know that Danielle's boyfriend Marty proposed to her. I can only assume then that was supposed to be the proposal, but that whole scene got cut out. Somebody said, and this is just a rumor, disclaimer, just something I heard on the internet. I heard that when they cut out the scene where Danielle had sex in the bathroom of Gorga's on that opening night, that when they cut that out, they cut out all the big scenes with Danielle from that point on. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense to me because I feel like they're all about ratings, and wouldn't that be certainly more interesting than some of the stuff they did show on this final episode? That's all I know. If you guys know the truth of what's happening here, or if you know why there was no proposal in the episode called Prisons, Proposals, and Parties, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to find out. So this is the finale episode in a very short season, I might add. This is only the 13th episode, but I know a lot of you out there think that 13 episodes was plenty, at least for this season. I kind of enjoyed it. I think in some ways I kind of enjoyed it more than Orange County. But, you know, in other ways, I do kind of understand. Okay, the episode opens with Margaret trying on her party dress for her. She's having a big party for her 50th birthday. She's trying that on. It's too small at first, and they managed to let it out and get it to fit her, and she's happy with it. Next scene, we move to another store where Siggy is with Joshua and picking out a tux because Joshua's going to prom. Oh, Joshua's growing up. Joshua asks for a flask, and Siggy's like, "What do you need that for?" And he said, "Water." Yeah. Good one, Joshua. I bet all the senior guys have flasks filled with water. You know how thirsty you boys get at prom. Yeah. The only other significant thing at that scene was that Joshua told Siggy that he decided to go to Penn State. And she's beyond thrilled because it's only 3.5-hour drive away and she can be there every weekend. And Joshua's like, I hope not every weekend, and you have to call first. And she goes, well, I'm going to the football games. Is Joshua going there for football? He seems kind of small. But otherwise, why would Siggy be going to all the football games? The next scene is at Teresa's house, and it's pretty cute because it is her birthday and she's being surprised. And Joe kind of planned this. Joe and Melissa come over with their kids, and the dad's cooking up something good on the stove, a pot of sauce and meatballs. And Joe has all the kids write birthday notes to Teresa, and it's actually really sweet and cute. She comes in and she's like, "Daddy, what are you making?" And then all the kids yell surprise. And it was really actually very cute. And so they all sit down to eat, and she read her cards, and Adriana read her little card, and it says how you're the best mom in the world, and was very tender and sweet. And then Teresa says, "So we're going to see Daddy this weekend. Who's coming with me?" And right away, Gabriella says, "I have 2 soccer games." And Teresa's like, "Oh, yeah, I know." And she points to Gia, and she's like, "And you've got cheer. So I guess it's just me and Adriana and Melania." And I had some mixed feelings about that. I'm curious what you guys think at home. So let me know in the comments down below your opinion about this. Do you think that the girls should have gone to see their dad. It seems to have been about 8 months since they've gone to see him. So it's not like they go every weekend. Otherwise, I would kind of understand. But again, I don't know if she should have made them go or not. This isn't like a divorce or something. I mean, he's in prison, and I don't know if you should make your child go to a prison. I feel very conflicted. At first I thought, gosh, that's a long time to not see your children. But on the other hand, like I said, I can't decide because it's prison. The man is being punished. He's away from his family because of something he did. This is not the kid's fault. And I really would have a hard time making them go. It's more about me thinking that the girls would have regrets if they didn't, you know? Like more for their sake. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. This is just a throwaway scene, but it's just another example of what a sweet and happy little family Dolores and Frank and Frankie are. They're going bowling together and they're having fun, and Frankie has decided to go to Sacred Heart, which is the college that is not very far from their home, and it's just so lovey-dovey. They're just so happy, those three. Okay, we're back at Margaret's house, and this too is a throwaway scene, but I had to mention it because we get another appearance of Joyce, that interior designer. Oh, gotta love Joyce. Actually, her designs were not too bad. She came with some specs for the ballroom. Does Joe do anything ever? That ballroom looks exactly the same as it has week after week after week. That would drive me crazy. And she's having her party in 2 days. And her party planner said he could do something with the room, but I think she said there were holes in the floors, and this place is a wreck right now, so I don't know what can be done in 2 days. Hopefully Joe will at least get the scaffolding out of the room. Okay, next we have the prison portion of the episode, and it is Teresa driving to visit her husband Joe. She's got Adriana and Melania with her, and they're talking about it a little bit in the car, and Adriana's so cute. She's asking her, what are you going to tell Daddy? And she said, well, I'm going to tell him about my confirmation and my school project, and oh gosh, it was heartbreaking. Then, of course, no cameras are allowed in the prison, so the next we see is them driving home, and Teresa kind of apologized for getting emotional with the kids there. And then to the confession cam, she says that when she first saw him, that she just got so overwhelmed that all her courage for making him accountable and asking him for an apology kind of went away and was unable to do it. But the next scene is at a Jonathan Adler store with Melissa and Joe, and they're picking out a birthday present for Margaret because that's the store that she requested her gifts from. Teresa meets them there, and they ask about her visit to the prison, and it is a completely different story. She tells them that she asked for an apology. She told Joe, what you did to the girls you need to apologize for and all that. And he said, Teresa, didn't you read my letters and my emails? I've apologized over and over again. And she said, but I just kind of want to hear it out of your mouth. And he apologized again, said he was so sorry and that nothing like that would ever happen again. And Melissa goes, you really said all that? And she said, yeah. Oh, I'm confused because I know she just said, I got emotional. I didn't have the courage to ask. So something's fishy. What do you guys think? Did I miss something? Next, we have Joshua all dressed in his tux and ready to go to prom, and Siggy tells him, I want to go to prom with you. What do you think of that? Not much, Siggy. Next, we see the women getting ready for Margaret's birthday party. So we see Dolores getting ready. She's got her hair and makeup people in her kitchen, and she tries calling her boyfriend David, and he doesn't answer the phone. The makeup girl asks her who she's going to the party with, and she says Frank. Of course. I mean, did we really expect anything different? David has avoided the camera the entire season. I don't think any of us expected an appearance now. Again, Frank Sr. to the rescue. The other memorable thing about this scene is that the woman is fixing her hair. She's curling it. She completely styles Dolores's hair. And then Dolores puts a wig on. Now, I know she said, I'm not sure if I'm going to wear the wig or not, but sweetie, decide that first. Try the wig on, see how it looks, and then fix your hair. Oh my gosh, what a waste of time and probably money. Then the woman who was doing Dolores's makeup goes over to Siggy's house to do Siggy's makeup. And Siggy asks her, oh, how did Dolores look? Was she stunning? Siggy. She cracks me up still. The woman asks her, like, so do you think there's going to be drama tonight? And then Siggy has to tell her how she doesn't like Margaret and she really doesn't want to go to this party. And why are you going then, Siggy? Honestly, I know that Margaret doesn't want you there if you don't want to go. So, I don't know. Can you say contractual obligation? Now everyone is arriving at the party, and Margaret's party is a Studio 54 disco theme, and people are dressing accordingly. One of the first housewives, I think, to arrive is Danielle and her boyfriend Marty, and she's got this like tight, sparkly cat suit. Why do I think this is something Danielle just happened to have in her closet? Most of the people have gone to like costume shops and stuff, and I'm just saying that maybe Danielle didn't have to go far to find hers. I don't know. So Margaret wants to make an entrance at the beginning of her party. Oh my God. She gets up on this horse statue. This was just so bizarre and weird. All these guys just roll this horse forward about 10 feet and then she gets off. I loved how everything was decorated. Oh my gosh, the ballroom. I cannot even believe the party planners were able to do what they did. It's probably one of those vinyl stickers that they have on the floor, but the floor is like this black and white cool pattern. They've got giant pictures of Margaret on the wall and a bar set up, and it looks fantastic. In fact, Margaret said, oh my gosh, I want to keep it like this until we do the renovation. And her husband said, I just want this to be the renovation. Everything outside, there were giant disco balls nestled in the grass in different places, and everything really looked cool and fun. But I'm just saying, this little pushing her a few feet on this fake horse was bizarre. She gives a very nice speech thanking everyone for coming and about friendship. And by the way, Siggy's not here yet. And I'm kind of surprised she didn't come with Dolores. Then while the party's going strong and people are dancing and drinking and having a good time, somebody says to Margaret, oh, hey, I heard something about Siggy. Oh, what? And that she's not coming. Then we see Dolores, I think, get a text from Siggy. Apparently, Siggy fell and she was at the hospital getting checked out. All the ladies are together now discussing that, and as you might imagine, there are differences of opinion as to whether or not she really is at the hospital. Dolores, of course, Team Siggy all the way, always has been, is defending her. The others are really more just confused. I don't think Margaret denied it or said anything like that. But Danielle said, oh, perfect deflection again. And Dolores said, what are you talking about? And she said, well, she deflects. She didn't want to come. She cries. She has to make things all about her. She calls people anti-Semitic. It's all a deflection. Dolores is like, okay, here we go. And Danielle's going on and on. And then Dolores. This is almost as good as Welcome Back Scumbag, which is probably my favorite line of the season. But Dolores comes up with a gem again. She throws her head back and laughs and goes, you're such a slob. love it. I just love it. I don't even think Danielle had much of a reaction to that. So Siggy is texting Dolores and Teresa from the hospital. Well, they're going to do this, and they're doing a CAT scan, and they're doing all these tests on me, and there's something wrong with her. Okay. Margaret makes a very good point and says, well, she never texted me. It's just rude. You know, I don't care if you like her or not. You were going to go to her party. If you can't, at the very least, she should be in on the group text. Anyway, Margaret's kind of actually relieved that she's not going to show up because she's not going to ruin her party. So everyone now starts doing some more dancing and drinking and having a good time. Then we see Siggy and Michael Campanella driving away from the hospital, and Siggy is bound and determined to show up at that party. I can't believe Michael Campanella is going to drive her there. Oh, I forgot, side note, I love that Joe Gorga calls Siggy Ziggy. I don't know if he thinks she's that little cartoon character in the comics, but I've heard him call her that before, earlier in the season, and I thought maybe I didn't hear it right, but oh no, he clearly calls her Ziggy. And he thinks she's lying about the whole thing. So she gets to the party and she tells them to leave the car there because she wants to get her friends out of there. That's rude too. And she's got her arm in a sling and she's got a boot on her foot. Okay, so you proved to everybody that you were really at the hospital. So what? Now what? Then Siggy says, I didn't really want to come. And Margaret is standing right there. And Margaret said, you know, I thought we had made up at the retreat. I thought we had made up again. And you sent me a very nice note about the party. And she said, and then when you didn't want to meet my mother, I thought that was so weird. And Siggy said, well, I never said I wanted to be friends with you. I don't want to be friends with you. Siggy. It's her birthday. This is her birthday party. What's wrong with you? Finally, Margaret said, well, okay, then why don't you just leave? If you don't want to be here, just leave. And she's like, oh, thank God. There is a God. No, there isn't. I mean, that's up to you. But I mean, that doesn't prove there's a God. She's such an idiot this season. I can't. I just can't. And Dolores said, I'm going to leave with her. But she actually very nicely thanked Margaret for inviting her to the party and wished her a happy birthday. And at least she was an adult about it. And Teresa said, I'm just going to walk her out, but I'm not leaving. So those three are outside now. And Teresa, again, is trying to get Siggy to say, but you at least came here a little bit for Margaret, right? To wish her a happy birthday? And Siggy said, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a phony. Then Teresa says to the confession cam, you know, I don't like how Siggy's been acting lately, but she's my longtime friend. I've been friends with her and Dolores for years, and I have to be on Siggy's side. So Teresa decides to leave with Siggy and Dolores. Stupid and rude, because now you didn't even say goodbye to Margaret. And that's when we get the still shots and the final caption about what all the ladies are up to now. This was probably the worst batch of those that I've ever seen, because nothing's happening with any of these ladies. I'll show them all here, but Teresa's was basically just that she liked Joe's new prison body and can't wait to see him again. Yeah. Dolores is enjoying visiting her son Frankie away at college. Siggy cut back on work to spend more time with Michael Campanella. Gee, that one's a surprise since he threatened her all season. Melissa, sales at Envy have skyrocketed since her trip to Milan. They couldn't really have gotten much worse, right? Was there ever any customers in that store? And Margaret's was that the renovation has stalled in her ballroom because Joe wants to keep the decorations up. Those were just pointless waste of time. So that is the end of a very short season for the ladies of New Jersey. Maybe for the best. I don't know. It was a really rough season for Siggy. I guess she's not coming back. That's what I'm hearing. We've got the reunions. I can't imagine they're going to have 3 reunions for such a short season. Do you think they'll have 2? But I am curious about a few things, so I will be recapping it. So I would love for you to meet me back here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the reunion episode recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to comment down below. I love to hear your views and opinions, and also I asked you guys a lot of questions in this episode, so I'm dying to know what you guys think. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.